at 11.
Good morning. Breaking news. A rising death toll in Indonesia. Thousands are feared dead following an earthquake overnight.
What happened? Did U.S. Marines open fire on innocent civilians in Iraq? An investigation is underway, and according to one military official, the results will be devastating.
And on the road again, Americans head out for Memorial Day weekend trying to deal with soaring gas prices and long lines at the airport. Today's Saturday, May 27, 2006.
From NBC News, this is Today with Campbell Brown and Lester Holt, live from Studio 1A in Rockefeller Plaza.
And welcome everyone to Today on this Saturday morning. I'm Lester Holt.
And I'm Campbell Brown. It was a 6.2 magnitude earthquake that hit in Indonesia when most people were still asleep. And as we said, thousands are feared dead. We're going to get the latest on that in just a second.
Also, Campbell, we're going to turn to Iraq and see where that investigation stands, looking into the deaths of 24 Iraqi civilians. It happened late last year, but new details are now emerging. Defense officials say in the end, U.S. Marines could face murder charges. We'll head to the Pentagon.
And then tired of pouring your paycheck right into your gas tank? Well, that's certainly on your mind if you're hitting the road on this Memorial Day weekend. Coming up, we're going to show you how two men are making it cross-country on, yes, vegetable oil. And Lester, this is used vegetable oil, and apparently the car smells like whatever was last cooked in the oil. So in all seriousness, this is a French fry mobile.
But because it's vegetable oil, your cholesterol in your car will stay at a reasonable level. That's good. You get that checked every time you fill out.
Yeah.
Plus, with hits like Urgent, Double Vision, and I Want to Know What Love Is, Foreigner has been around for 30 years. They're on the road again. They'll be playing live a bit later on our plaza.
But first, on a much more serious note, let's get to Indonesia, where the death toll is rising after that 6.2 magnitude earthquake. With the latest, here's NBC's Fred Francis.
The death toll is mounting each hour in and near the ancient royal city of Yogyakarta, where millions were taught. Eyewitnesses fled to higher ground when rumors of a tsunami swept through densely packed neighborhoods. Terrifying rumors only, though memories are keen.
And at 3 minutes after the hour, now here's Lester.
Campbell, thanks. Now to that investigation that could send shockwaves to the Marine Corps. Military investigators are trying to figure out if U.S. Marines were responsible for the deaths of 24 Iraqi civilians, including 7 children, late last year. If confirmed as unjustified, unprovoked killings, the incident would be the most serious case of criminal misconduct by U.S. troops in Iraq. Here's NBC's Jim Miklaszewski.
In Haditha, the Marines are accused of killing up to 24 innocent Iraqi civilians, including women and children.
NBC News, the Pentagon.
Jack Jacobs is a retired Army colonel, a recipient of the Medal of Honor. For that, we're going to turn to early today's Christine Johnson over at the news desk. Christine, good morning.
Good morning to you as well, Lester, and good morning to all of you. In the news this morning, the New York Times says Attorney General Alberto Gonzales and senior Justice Department officials were ready to quit during a showdown with the White House over those evidence seized from the office of Louisiana Congressman William Jefferson. Now, the Times says it's not clear if Gonzales threatened the president with the mass resignations, but following their meeting Thursday, the president ordered the evidence sealed for 45 days, reportedly averting the walkout. Also on Capitol Hill, some answers this morning to the scare in the nation's capital. For hours Friday, government offices were shut tight. Workers sent scrambling as police searched for a gun that most likely never existed. NBC's Chip Reed explains. In the worldwide response to bird flu now. For the first time, the World Health Organization is ordering a global stockpile of Tamiflu. Health teams have already have 9,500 doses on hand in Indonesia as they look into how the bird flu was passed among members of the same family. And house hunters, if you have $9 million, this can be yours. Martha Stewart selling her home in Westport, Connecticut. Turkey Hill, as it's called, boasts 3,100 square feet, a swimming pool, a barn, and a guest house. Apparently, Martha looking to downsize. That is the latest news for now. Let's go back to Lester Campbell and Kathy Sabin.
All right. Christine, thanks very much. And Kathy's here because Janice is off. Thanks for being here.
Hi, Kathy.
Hi.
From
Welcome.
KUSA.
Thank you so much. It's so great to be here, and it was so nice to hear the rain last night. It has been hot and dry in Colorado with high fire danger and a red flag warning out, unusually warm and dry. And that, unfortunately, is going to be part of our weather story, folks, today across the Central Plains and the Rocky Mountain West. Temperatures running some 10 to 20 degrees above average. Here in the Northeast and across the New York City area, we're hoping those rain showers are going to hold off because foreigners out in the plaza. We've got a lot of excited fans to see them. We have showers moving into the Pacific Northwest. That is where you will find some cool weather this Memorial Day weekend. That's a look at the weather across the lower 48. Now here's a look at the weather in your area. Weather forecast, back to you guys.
Kathy, thanks very much. Whether you're staying put this holiday weekend, have already arrived at your destination, or are packing up the car at this very moment, you have already noticed, of course, the cost of gas is soaring. But just how much of an impact is that having on Americans' travel plans this Memorial Day weekend? Here's NBC's Kevin Cork.
Whether you're heading for the beach, catching a ride at your favorite amusement park, or just hitting the tables at a resort this holiday weekend, chances are you'll get there by car. And it's a good bet it's going to cost you a lot more to get there this year than it did a year ago. At $2.86 a gallon, the average price of regular unleaded is up a whopping 75 cents a gallon compared to a year ago, forcing some motorists to make tough choices about how and where to spend their holiday weekend.
I wanted to go out of town, but, you know, I really don't want to pay the gas prices to drive out of town now. Pretty much stay around in my local area.
Still, experts say don't expect a lot of room to roam. Despite the price at the pump, more than 37 million Americans are expected to hit the road this holiday weekend. For the record, AAA tells us the price of gas has actually gone down for the first time in 12 weeks. And experts say, given the cost of everything else that goes into a getaway weekend, even really high gas prices aren't much of a deterrent for most consumers.
I think overall, people are going to travel, but they're just going to have to plan for it and budget for these higher prices.
So when is a $70 fill-up a bargain?
We have a 76 Cadillac Eldorado at 25-gallon tank, and it took just under $100 to fill that up.
A reminder that sometimes holiday fun comes at a hefty price. For today, Kevin Cork, NBC News, Washington.
Now, what if you had a car that ran on, say, vegetable oil? Would it make it through a long road?
Thanks a lot, Campbell.
And now here's Lester.
I'll never look at a fritter the same way. Campbell, thanks. There's that old saying, if it sounds too good to be true, it probably is. But scams can be complex and confusing, including one that authorities say has conned millions of people out of more than $1 billion. How does it work? Here's NBC's Jennifer London.
The 2800.
Jesus